Israel, Shalom. Class, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahushua. A hearty mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it to get built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to those men. Shalom to all of the sisters out there, married and unmarried, zealous and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live on another Sabbath service.
Shabbat Shalom. All praise to the Most High for another Shabbat, right? Another day of edification, right? Another day of repenting, getting yourself in order, getting your house in order, examining yourself, how you can go harder in this truth, how you can be more fervent for your Yahushua, and a better brother throughout all Israel, and sister throughout all Israel. As we always do, let's go to Acts chapter 18 and verse number 4.
Come, the book of Acts, chapter 18 and verse number 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Right, this is another Sabbath service to persuade Israel, who knows that they're Israel, to continue in the faith, the brotherly love, the charity, all things to magnify the name of Yahushua, and to those who are just finding out that they're Israel, to compel them to be in the church of Berea, to search the scriptures daily and diligently to see if the words that we spoke to you were true or not. Right? A lot of false doctrine and soothsaying are going out to and fro to deceive the hopeful elect. And it's our job as the watchman for Israel to prepare you and have you equipped to fight those doctrines. And the only way we can do that is through Philippians 4:13.
Come, the book of Philippians, chapter 4 and verse number 13. I can do all things through my shop, which strengthens me.
Right, through the spirit of Yahushua, we're able to cast down false doctrine, stand 10 toes down for the doctrine we've learned, right, not get tossed to and fro like a wave in the sea, and use all the edification that we've learned, right, and that brothers and sisters are learning on these classes and lives to edify the sheep.
That's right. Shalom, Shalom, Israel. Shalom to the elect scattered abroad, reading, praying, fasting, doing the will of the Most High, and beloved Son Yahushua. Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 17, and verse number 2.
Come, the book of Acts, chapter 17 and verse 2. And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and through 7 days reasoned with them out of the scriptures.
And that's what you have to do on the Sabbath day. Yes, you rest, yes, you keep it holy, but you also have to go inside of the scriptures. Right, read.
Opening and alleging that Hamashiach must needs have suffered and risen again from the dead, and that this Yahushua, whom I preach unto you, is Hamashiach.
And that's what we're sent to do, to preach and magnify the Lord's name.
Come. All praise, honor, and glory to Abba. How you know Yahweh, Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, the righteous. Right? Of course, I'm going to get straight into it. The book of Acts 15 and verse 20.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 15, verse 20. But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood.
Right, read.
For Moses of old time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
Right, come. So every Sabbath day, right, Moses, our forefathers, the apostles, right, they went and every Sabbath day, right, to preach in the synagogues and churches, right, to beseech our people to abstain from fornication, right, things that's polluted, right, idols, all manner of forms of uncleanness, right, to keep this day holy, right, and to keep our people holy and to cleanse them and purify them, right, through the word, right, every Sabbath day, right. So, of course, as well as going in the scriptures, right, as well to be edified and built up, making sure that every Sabbath day you're keeping yourself from all the things that pollute you, right? Things of this world, right? Idols, right? Things that will distract you and take you away from the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That's right, so all praise to the Most High. We have to do these Q&As. You have brothers that are coming into this knowledge. You have brothers that may have watched, videos or breakdowns and may be reading, and they may have questions. So we have to do these Q&As here and there throughout the Spirit to be able to constantly make sure that the flock is getting edified. So I know, ABA, you got a question, kid.
Isaiah chapter 7, verse 20, going down to 25.
Isaiah chapter 7, verse 20.
Come. Isaiah chapter 7, 20 to 25.
Yeah, 20 to 25.
Come. Isaiah chapter 7 and verse number 20. In the same day shall the Lord shade with a razor that is higher, namely by them beyond the river, by the king of Assyria, the head and the hair of the feet, and it shall also consume the beard.
Right, go on.
And it shall come to pass in that day that a young man shall nourish a young cow and 2 sheep. And it shall come to pass for the abundance of milk that they shall give, he shall eat butter. For butter and honey shall everyone eat that is left in the land. And it shall come to pass in that day that every place shall be there were 1,000 vines, at 1,000 silver lines. It shall even be for briars and thorns. With arrows and with bows shall men come thither, because all the land shall become briars and thorns, and on all hills that shall be dead with a mattock, there shall not come thither the fear of briars and thorns, but it shall be for sending forth of oxen and for treading of lesser cattle.
So this, Isaiah the 7th chapter, this goes into the judgments that are going to happen to the northern kingdom and to the Jews for their rebellion against the Most High. Now, when you go back, read verse 20 again. Start at 17.
Come, verse 17.
It gives the context.
The Lord shall bring upon thee and upon thy people and upon thy father's house days that have not come from the day that Ephraim departed from Judah, even the king of Assyria.
So he's going to bring a heathen, right, against Israel. Go on.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall hiss for the fly that is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. And they shall come and shall rest all of them in the desolate valleys, and in the holes of the rocks, and upon all thorns, and upon all bushes.
That's the Lord taking Israel to a lower state. Read on.
In the same day shall the Lord shade with a razor that is higher, namely by them beyond the river, by the king of Assyria, the head and the hair of the feet, and it shall also consume the beard.
Right, and that's a sign of what? Captivity. Right? You get taken captive, and your enemy does what? Shave your head, your hair, your beard. Go to Isaiah chapter 20. Give me a few seconds. Isaiah 20, and I believe 4.
Come. The book of Isaiah, chapter 20, and verse number 4. So shall the king of Assyria lead away the Egyptians prisoners, and the Ethiopians captives, young and old, naked and barefoot, even with their buttocks uncovered, to the shame of Egypt.
To the shame of Egypt. So they would strip you down, like in Deuteronomy, the 21st chapter. They would change your apparel, they would shave your head, they would shave your beard, and they would put you in slavery and captivity. Right? Go back to Isaiah the 7th chapter.
Isaiah chapter 7 and verse number 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that a young man shall nourish a young cow and 2 sheep.
Right, so you're not going to have the abundance that you had in time past. Read.
And it shall come to pass for the abundance of milk that they shall give, he shall eat butter. For butter and honey shall everyone eat that is left in the land.
Like butter and honey shall everyone eat that is left in the land. So the Lord is going to take away the resources and all of the wealth that the nation of Israel has. Go on.
And it shall come to pass in that day that every place shall be where there were 1,000
You
vines
had grapes abundance, vines and fruits and things to feed your family. Read.
and 1,000 silver linings, it shall even be for briars and thorns.
That's what happens when captivity goes down. When you have captivity, when you have judgment, they deplete you of your natural resources. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and I believe 33. That's one of the curses. That the nation will eat the fruit of your vine, right? And they will take away your cattle. Right, bring that up.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not
Like the Assyrians go on.
eat up,
Do what?
eat up.
Eat your cattle, eat your oxen, eat your vineyards, put you in captivity, read on.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed all.
And that's what that's going to. That's the fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28 and 33. How the Assyrians will come through the days of Isaiah, Ahaz, or these different kings, and judge Israel for their transgressions. John.
I have a question.
Go.
Go. This is from your Fade Israel.
Anybody have questions in this last one first?
So are we supposed to bury dead bodies in Jacob's trouble?
Are we supposed to bury dead bodies? Go to the book of, let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter. Right? 2nd Ezra. Now, really, you're not going to have the discernment and the spirit to know, if this brother was righteous or not. You're not going to have the time to bury this brother. Now, if you got a brother you travel with, and the brother give up the ghost of Jacob's trouble, should you bury that brother if you have time? Of course. Do you go out of your way when you see all these dead bodies? The Lord said dead bodies are going to be everywhere. And so, go to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, where the Lord said the dead shall be cast out as dung. Right? 2nd Ezra 16, and let's start at, let's see where we want to start. Right, quick precept. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and you can start at verse number, let's see, let me get straight to the point. Let's start at 23. Start at 22.
2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Read.
And the dead shall be cast out as dung.
There's going to be dead bodies everywhere in a time of evil, in a time of Jacob's trouble. When the famine happens, and there's no food, and there's no water, and there's wars on the earth, many people, millions of people, are going to give up the ghost and die. Read. And this is going to be the righteous men that are going to survive. You're going to have the wicked men that are going to be destroyed. Read.
And there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down.
The brothers aren't going to be able to really do that, huh? You're going to be looking to survive. You're going to be a pilgrim on earth. Now again, if you have the luxury to be able to be on the go and bury your loved ones, if you travel with them, if God forbid something happens, should you bury them? Yes. Right? But are you going to have to go out of your way and search out through the thousands of Junites and Benjamites and Ephraimites and Manassites and go bury all of them? You may not have the time. Huh? It may not be a realistic, feasible decision to make. Right? One more quick reason. Go to Genesis, the 33rd chapter. 35. Right? Go to Genesis chapter 35 and 13.
The book of Genesis, chapter 35 and verse 13. And the Most High went up from him in the place where he talked with them. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering.
Where you at?
14.
All right, jump down to verse 18, straight to the point.
Verse 18.
This is Jacob and his journeys. Go on.
And it came to pass, as her soul was in the party,
Right, this is Rachel.
for she died, that she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin.
Right?
And Rachel died and was buried in the way of Ephraim, which is Bethlehem.
So they was on the go. Jacob was a pilgrim on earth, huh? Right? He had a pilgrimage. Abraham had a pilgrimage. Isaac had a pilgrimage. But the time that he had to bury Rachel, he didn't just have a pilgrim. I'm gonna just leave you out dead in the cold. On the way to Bethlehem, to Bethel, to these different places, he made that decision, and he had the resources to bury his wife. So you can see that even as a pilgrim, it can happen, but Jacob didn't go and search out all of the family to do that.
Come, let's go to Matthew chapter 24 and start at verse number 15. Right? So like the brother said, if there's time permitting in Jacob's trouble, right, that would be a righteous act. Like Tobit buried many of the dead of his country, right, in those times. That'd be sin getting taken off from you. But no man knows the extent of Jacob's trouble, how bad it's going to be. Right? It says it's going to be like a time that no man has seen, or no time that was before on the earth. So we had transatlantic slavery. We know how horrific that was. Right? You had 70 AD, how horrific that was. They said Jacob's trouble was going to be 10 times worse than those. So it may not be time to, bury a brother that you was running around and trying to protect and save your lives together. You may have to, split and preserve your life. Right? Because even in that time, I think at Luke, the 21st chapter, it says that even the hair on your head won't be preserved. So the righteous are scarcely going to be saved. So you're going to be trying to survive, going to and fro through cities, looking for goods to sustain you for the days to come. So it's kind of a discernment thing, and if the Lord has mercy on you to do it, let's
St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place.
Right, so the abomination of desolation is when the temples were being destroyed. So in Jacob's trouble, we're the temple. And it's going to be getting destroyed, thrown down, slaughtered, right? Family members being slaughtered in front of you. It's going to be a time that no man has ever seen, right?
Whoso readeth, let him understand.
Right?
Then let them which be in Jerusalem, in Judea, flee into the mountains.
So this is talking about 70 AD, but it translated and coincides with today when Jacob's trouble happens. When you see all the abomination happen, when Esau starts running like a madman, sparing none, you got to get the hell up out of these cities. You got to be like a pilgrim, like we was just reading about earlier. You got to flee, run into the wilderness, get the hell away from Dodge, right?
Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
So it ain't going to be a time when you're going to be able to be like, damn, I remember that brother Cody, who was my best friend in middle school, and I saw his dead body on Baltimore Street. Let me go back and dig up some plot of ground so I can bury it. You're not going to have time to do that, right? You're going to have to pray that the Most High has mercy upon him, as well as pray Most High has mercy upon you. Where's one more?
Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes.
So if you're in that field and you're running away from the destruction going on in Babylon the Great, there's no time to turn back and think about, I need to help this person, I got to help that person, I got to do this, right? They're spirit are with the Lord, right? But if you had the opportunity to do that, I would say come.
I got one more quick precept on that. And 2nd Ezra 2 and 23.
Second Ezra, chapter 2 and verse
Start at 22.
22. Keep the old and young within thy walls. Wheresoever thou findest the dead, take them and bury them, and I will give thee first place in my resurrection.
Like brothers are saying, if you have that time and that luxury, and the Most High blesses you to do that, take advantage of it. Right? That's a beautiful work of charity to be able to do that. Right? You want to have that spirit of Simon, right? Who came out, it's like Joseph of Arimathea, who begged for the body of the Lord, man, and buried his king, his Lord, you know? So, make that last one.
Quick precept. It's like 2nd Ezra 16 and 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit buy it, and he that buildeth as that shall not dwell therein. Right, so you're gonna have people that is going from storefront to storefront, right, robbing, stealing, and looting, man. right, killing. Right, I'm not sure if you've ever seen the so-called show, right, back in the day, the Walking Dead, right, the Walking Dead. You may run into certain people, right? They might try to rob you for your coat, right? Try to rob you for your so-called shoes, right? Your food, your resources, and things that you may have, right? Because you don't have the economy that's going to be generating, right? These trucks that's bringing food and drinks and whatnot, right? Because all hell is going to be breaking loose, right? So you may not have time to bury someone, right? Let alone, right, to even have time for your own self, You gotta get the pilgrim, constantly moving, constantly on the go, right, and going to and fro.
2nd Ezra 16 and 40.
All right. Bring it up, brother.
Say that again, please?
The verse?
No, what chapter?
2nd Ezra
16 and 40, on down.
Exodus?
Second Ezra.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
Exodus, I got it.
Esdras, Esdras.
Okay.
Yep, chapter 16 and verse number 40.
Okay.
Brother's gonna help you out back there. All right, brother. Gonna get you. Any other questions in the classroom? Not mine. All right, we'll move on.
This is from Persuading Israel. It says, being that we don't remember our past life, will the Most High God allow us to remember America being our captivity when we are in our new kingdom?
I got a quick precept I can think of. Let's go to Isaiah 14 chapter. Right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 14. Right? We're going to read Isaiah 14 and we're going to read verse number 4.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse number 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased.
So we're in the kingdom. We're going to talk our talk, man. Right? Against the king of Babylon. We're going to see these Edomites in slavery, and we're not going to question how they got there. Who are these guys, man? How are they in chains? Where did they come from? Who are they? Whence comest thou? Now we're going to know that they came from the destruction of Babylon the Great, and we rounded them up and put them in captivity. That's how you know we're going to be making proverbs and taunting and talking the talk against those who had us in captivity. Read on.
The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
Read.
He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindered.
Is persecuted and none hindered. Jump to verse 16.
Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
So our children and men are going to look at us and say, this man had y'all in slavery?
Right.
This man right here? I can't believe you let this man move over y'all, man. Right? I can't believe you let this so-called white man. I mean, look at it, man. Come on, Pops, man. Right? You had this, and you went out to go into these breakdowns. You're not going to say, I don't know who this man is and where he came from. Everybody's going to know about the downfall of the so-called white man. Didn't everybody know about the destruction of Egypt? The Lord said, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that my name might be declared in thee, and that I might show forth my power in all the earth, paraphrasing. So everybody remembers Egypt being destroyed, and everybody's going to remember America being destroyed. Now you're going to remember every detail of your life in America, when you had that Big Mac, or when you shot that jump shot. Nobody knows, right? But to the extent of this country being destroyed, that is going to be in your memory. I got one more real quick. Jeremiah 16 and 14. Quick precept.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse number 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
But what?
But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands where he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
That's going to be the new talk. The new talk is going to be how the Most High destroyed America. Right? That's going to be the new talk in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah. How the Most High took the society down. right? So that's in Jeremiah, the 16th chapter, just like we talked about the Passover, and that deliverance, we're going to speak about the deliverance from America. Come, that's right. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 13. Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse number 13.
Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse number 13. Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them.
Right, talking about all of the dead bodies. Read.
And it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Right, so it's going to be a renowned day after the destruction, after the Lord wipes away, you understand, going into the second wilderness and all of these things. And the Lord is saying it's going to be a renowned day, meaning a day to be remembered. So you're going to remember the destruction. You're going to be able to gloat and glory in all of the destruction that the Lord has done, you understand, to all of our enemies. It would be absurd to forget all of that and just be born all over again, man. That's why when we're in the church, we'll be singing the song of Moses. We're going to be triumphant. We will be glorying in the Lord. Right, go to the book of Job, chapter 20, and verse number 4. Job, chapter 20, and verse number 4.
The book of Job, chapter 20, and verse number 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth?
Right, so the Lord is saying from the very foundation of the earth, which you don't know, what man doesn't notice, read.
That the triumph of the wicked is short.
Right, so you're not going to have everybody mourn from the day, right, that man was placed upon the earth to the day you understand we receive salvation, that what you're going to forget all of that. See, man knows from the very beginning of the earth that man's triumphant and the wicked is going to be short. Right, read.
And the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment,
Right.
though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach into the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him,
Which have seen him,
shall say, where is he?
they're going to say, where is it? Because they're going to notice, man. It's not going to erase out of your head, right, Esau's remembrance. You never know who he was. You never know he was in captivity. And all you do is smile, laugh, and rejoice. No, you're going to say, well, where is this man? He's going to perish off of the earth like his own dung. Right, read that again, King.
Come. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night.
Right?
The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him.
Right, his place. And his place is all of the sown places. America, right, or a capital. All of these different places where he has sown and reaped the benefits right off the backs of our foremothers and forefathers. So yeah, his places are going to be dissolved and destroyed, but we're going to remember the name and all of the things that he had done.
Let's go to Psalms chapter 126 and start at verse number 1. Right, Psalms 126 and verse 1. And, you know, it wouldn't be a just balance for the Lord to only remember all our other captivity, but Babylon we forget. Right, this is the worst captivity of them all. Right, it wouldn't be a just balance, man. We wouldn't be returning up in the kingdom, remembering Egypt, when this destruction is going to be 10 times worse. It's going to be a destruction like never before. Yeah, the 10 plagues was vital. Right, the overthrow of Greece, or the Greeks, the overthrow of the Romans. Right, but there's nothing like what he's going to do to Babylon the Great.
Psalm chapter 126 and verse 1. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream.
Right, so it's going to be so surreal that we're going to be in peace. We're going to be in paradise. It's going to be like we was living in a dream. When you ever had a real bad nightmare, and when you woke up, like, damn, that was only a dream. Right? I can't believe that was only a dream. So it's going to be to the point where everybody's going to be rejoicing and crying. You can read the next one.
Come. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord had done great things for them.
So even the heathen are going to say, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob overthrew us like never before. Right? The proud and the lofty. You know, they'll never be able to admit that they're getting thrown down. But in that day, Right? You don't think about the dirt that's under your Jordans, your Nikes, your Adidas, your Reeboks, right? Your New Balances. You don't worry about that stuff. Even then, the heathen are going to say that. I got one more. Let's go to Psalms. There's another one.
Come. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad.
Right?
Turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south.
Right? So the Lord is going to turn away our captivity. We're going to rejoice. We're going to have new high holy days, I'm led to believe. We're going to have a Passover 2.0. Right? A Passover 2.0. Right? But there ain't going to be no Passover. We're going to come up hither. Right? There'll be a come up hither feast. Right? Let's go to Psalms 37 and verse 38. Right? Again, that's all speculation. Right? Don't these other camps be like, look, they talking about these new feasts. Right? Speculation. Yeah, we're going to turn up for the destruction of our enemies. That's what our holy days are.
Salaki, that was going to be my next question. You think it's going to be holy?
Come on, absolutely. I'm thoroughly convinced.
Psalm chapter 37 and verse number 8. 38. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together, the end of the wicked shall be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble.
So the Lord's salvation is going to be talked about worldwide. Right? They're going to talk about the chariots when Babylon is destroyed in Russia, in China, in Europe, and all these other nations. Right?
And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him.
So the deliverance from the wicked is going to be nothing like ever before seen. Right?
I got one more from the Spirit. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and verse 20. Right? Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and verse 20.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 20. And when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which the Lord our God hath commanded you, then thou shalt say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand.
Right, and that applies to this very thing. So when your son comes and you say, well, why are we doing this? You know, why are we living like this? You know, what has happened? You know, tell me about the heritage. Tell me about the things which are past and the things that are old. See, we're commanded through the Spirit to say how the Lord destroyed Pharaoh, how the Lord delivered us out of the land of Egypt, how he destroyed all of the Egyptians and drowned them. You understand? And how the Lord magnified his name throughout the earth. So, I mean, this is in the law, and that's double to that which is, you know, to the days to come.
That's right, that's right. So,
Next question, through the Spirit. Right? Good questions.
This is from WFI Josiah. Shalom Kings, knowing that David prophesied about Yahweh Shah, do you think he knew that Yahweh Shah would be Solomon in regeneration?
Let's go again, sir.
Come on, let's go to Psalms chapter 73, I believe. 72. What? Psalm 72. And we can start at verse number. That's all thing we can go through. Let's start at verse number 8.
Come on.
7.
Come on. Psalm.
Let's read 1 first, and then jump to 7.
Psalm chapter 72 and verse 1. Give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son.
So it was already prophesied by David that the Lord was going to give wisdom to his son Solomon, that he can judge such a great people as Israel, right?
Verse 7. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and abundance of peace, so long as the moon endureth. He shall have dominion also from sea to sea.
Right, so this is a prophecy talking about Yahweh's kingdom that's coming, the Lord's kingdom that's coming. So in his kingdom, it should be peace, right? Peace for as long as he liveth and as long as the moon endureth. We know that Solomon's kingdom had peace for 40 years, right? What happened after that? And you had all hell breaking loose, right? You had this happening, the split. You had people bribing. You had all hell breaking loose. They started worshiping other guys. Read the book of Kings. Read the book of Chronicles. Every other king, it says, and he didn't do what was right in the sight of the Lord, right? After every other king. But he'll have dominion from sea to sea, right? Solomon's dominion was only in Israel, right? But during this king's reign, he'll have dominion from sea to sea, meaning the whole world is going to bow down to Solomon, right?
And from the river unto the ends of the earth,
Right?
they that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick dust.
So who's going to be in the wilderness that's going to bow to the Lord? That's going to be the Israelites who are delivered from Babylon the Great and all these many captivities. We're going to confess our sins before the Lord and bow. We're going to be crying before his face. We're going to plead to him face to face in the wilderness, right? In the latter end of that verse, his enemies shall lick the dust, right? Who was Solomon's enemies at the time? If Solomon means peace, right? So his enemies will have to lick up the dust of his feet. And the only time that's going to happen is when Yahweh Shah cracks that sky, he puts on those many crowns, right? You can get two more.
The kings of Tarshish and of the Alps shall bring presents. The kings of Sheba and Seba shall offer gifts. Yea, all kings shall fall down before him. All nations shall serve him.
So yes, David did prophesy about his son Solomon, knowing that he was Yahweh Shah in the regeneration. Right, one more verse, one more.
God, slide. For he shall deliver the needy when he crieth, the poor also, and him that has no help.
So he was going to deliver the needy and the poor and the helper. Right? We don't read these accounts that happened with Solomon. Right? Everybody was flourishing. Right? Except they was working hard though. They was building and working hard and paying taxes, but they were flourishing in Israel.
All right, all praise to the Most High. We'll move on to the next question.
This is from Carmel. May you please give advice to sisters that are in this truth, that are underage and under their parents' rules, but their parents are not in this truth.
So sisters that live with their parents not in the truth, the young sisters are in the truth. All right, let's go to a quick precept. Right, let's go to the book of Ephesians. Right, let's go to Ephesians. Let's go to chapter 6. So if you have parents that are not in the truth, and you live in this truth, let's see what the Lord said real quick. Go to Ephesians chapter 6 and let's read 1 and 2.
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right.
Obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. So a lot of, you may come into this truth, young men and sisters, and your parents may be in the world, and you become defiant. You may think that I don't have to listen to them, and I can do what I want to do. They say, damn, come in the house at 10 p.m. They're not in the truth. I'm going to come in the house at midnight. I'm going to do what I want to do. Right? You fight with your mother, you fight with your father, you debate your aunties, you debate your uncles, man. You get rid of all the leaven in the house, right? For Passover, man, you're throwing all these food away, man. You're cutting the lights off on the Shabbat, right? It's bedtime, man. Right? You're calling your father's job and getting him fired, man, because he's working on the Shabbat. Right? You don't want to have that spirit, man. You don't want to have that spirit, man. Now, you obey your parents. Now, if your parents are causing you and forcing you to do things that are not of the spirit, that's a completely different conversation. Because you have children that may have parents that don't keep the dietary law, that don't keep the holy days, that don't understand the judgments and the laws of Yahweh. And that's why you have to talk to your parents and let them know what's going on. You can't just walk around in the knowledge of Yahweh, but nobody knows what's going on. Right? What's wrong with them? Who are you? Nothing. I don't have to say nothing to you. Right? That's an off spirit, man. And you present to them what you believe in, man. Hey, look, I'm an Israelite. You're learning, X, Y, and Z. And either one or two things. Either the Most High can put the spirit of your parents to say, okay, you got a lot of parents that actually comply, for lack of better terms, to the agreement of the laws and the commandments. Not for their sakes, but for your sakes. But if you go in there aggressively and bold, you're going to stir up spirits. So you definitely want to first and foremost let your parents know what you believe in. what things that you're going to start doing, what things that you can no longer do. And you have to have that conversation. You can't be a secret disciple in your house, right? You sit down eating, they give you pork, and you're looking at it, they're not looking, you throwing it away. They have to know that you can't eat pork. They have to know these things. These things have to be plain and put on the forefront. So read verse 2 again, Ephesians 6 and 2.
Verse 2. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise.
With promise, right? Read on.
That it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth.
That you may live long on the earth. That's the promise. That's the first commandment that has a promise attached to it, right? That you will live long on the earth. So, not to be long with it, but you definitely want to go out there and let your parents know exactly what you believe in. The ins and the outs, the Sabbath days, the feast days. And who would tell them the Most High could put the Spirit on them to actually start kind of catering to your life, right? A lot of brothers have parents in the truth, in the world. But they know about the truth because their children told them about it. And sometimes they don't press on certain matters. They won't cook pork around you. They won't say certain things to your children. But that's because you made things known. So that's the first thing I would say to the young sisters, and even you young brothers, you make it known. And you don't have to do it in an aggressive, debate-style fashion. Right? You go about it in a respectful, wise manner. Come on, that's right. Let's go to Sirach chapter 3 and verse 16. Sirach chapter 3 and verse number 16. And that's a good question.
Sirach chapter 3 and verse number 16. And he that forsaketh his mother is a blasphemer, and he that angereth his mother is a curse for the Most High.
Right, so just because you come in this truth don't mean you gotta say, man, forget everybody in the world, man. I'm not keeping their commandments that they tell me. They tell me to wash the dishes. They tell me to take out the trash. And I'm reading right now. Right, you start to get overzealous, over-righteous, and overthrow, right, your salvation. Right, you don't want to be a blasphemer about forsaking your father. There are many men that may not bear witness nor understand the words of the Lord. That just mean the Lord chose you and the Lord didn't choose them. You still have to keep the commandments of your father and your mother. Right, read.
My son, go on with thy business in meekness.
In meekness. So your business may be whatever the case may be. Right? You may be reading, studying, right? Have a job. Go about it in meekness, not in pride. Right, read.
So shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved.
Right, so the Most High will give you mercy, right? You'll be beloved of the Lord if you go about things in meekness. Go to the book of Matthew, chapter 13, and verse number 55. Right, Matthew, chapter 13, and verse number 55.
Saint Matthew.
And so, like, if you be too over-righteous in the house, you get thrown out. Next thing you know, you're homeless, or you're kicking the rocks. Goddamn curses. Right, it's raining on you. Right, brother, you had a two-bedroom house. You had food, bread. Right, you wasn't eating no unclean food. But just because you can't maintain your spirit, you got overthrown. Now you're living under a bridge. Bring that up.
Saint Matthew, chapter 13, and verse 55. Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary?
Right, so you have certain men, right, of his nation just scoffing. Right, man, is this the Lord, man? Is this not Mary's son? Or how glorious can he be? He's just an average Joe. I know him and I know his family. And they may look at you that way, man. When did you become some prophet, some disciple, man? Wasn't you just smoking weed 2 years ago? Wasn't you just at a damn graduation or a party, right, 8 months ago? You just came into the truth 2 weeks ago? Right, read?
And his brethren, James and Joseph and Simon and Judas, and his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then hath this man all things?
Right, just because you know a brother what high school he went to, how tall he is, right, his family, right, and all of these different things doesn't take away from the ability that the Lord put in his spirit to do things. Right, read on.
And they were offended in him, but Yahweh said unto them, a brother is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house.
Right, just the point.
And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief.
Right, meaning he didn't do things that he knew that they were scarred from. If I know my family in the house, I'm young, right? I'm a young, woman, young man, whatever the case may be, and I'm in the house, Of course I wouldn't do many things because I'm gonna get scoffed at. I'd rather read in my room than to read in the living room. Because as soon as they go get something to drink, here you go again. What you reading now? Break it down. What's going on in the book of Revelation? What are you dibbling and dabbling into now? Now you have to answer unnecessary questions, pushed in the corner. Now you have to fight unnecessary demons. So it'd be wise, just like the Lord did. He did not many righteous works in front of them because of their unbelief. We can move on to the Spirit.
This is from Kwame Yasharala. Shalom, Deuteronomy 22 and verse 29. What does it mean he hath humbled us?
Deuteronomy chapter 22.
We're going to put that up in the Hebrew, you guys know too.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 29.
I believe that word in the Hebrew is ainah, right? I believe it means to afflict or to punish, to make someone submit to. So bring it up.
Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver.
Read 28 to get the concept.
Verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her.
Right, you see a woman, she's not promised to no man, she's betrothed, you lay hold on her, right? Go on.
And lie with her.
Right, you have sex with her.
And they be found.
Right, it's discovered.
Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver.
You have to pay for this, man. You can't just break into a car, a new car, and drive off the lot, man. You get found, you gotta pay for this car, man. Yeah, it's yours. You ran up the miles on it. The value of the car got depreciated, but you gotta pay for it, man. The famous saying, you break it, you what? You buy it, man. You break it, you buy it. Go on. That doesn't mean a woman is just a car. What do you mean? Do you guys think that woman a car? No, man. Right? But a woman was an asset to her father. Right? She provided things as in clothes. She could have dealt with the cattle like Rebecca, went to the well to get water. So if he lost his daughter, he lost income. He lost an asset. He lost an employee, for lack of better terms. So he got to be compensated for that. He needs compensation so he can buy a servant to replace her work. You know? Hold on. Read on.
And she shall be his wife. Because he had humbled her.
Because he had humbled her.
He may not put her away all his days.
Now, you can try to take that car, and now you drive it for 3 days. I don't like this car no more. Yeah, I broke into the lot, and I stole the car, and I'm driving off on it. But I want to turn it back in. No, you can't turn that in. That's your car now. You got to deal with it. I don't really like, well, you should have thought about that. You should have thought about that, man. You let your lust get the best of you, man. A lot of brothers, you get the stuff you want to try to go back in time, it's over with, man. You should have thought about that if you lay hold on this woman, man. You didn't get to talk to her father, you didn't know what was going on, and now you regret this decision. It says he may not put her away all his days because he had humbled her. Now the word humble, the brother had it, it's ainah. Now, brother might go to the definition. Okay, come on.
Right, it's H6031. And it says to be occupied, be busy with, to afflict, oppress, humble, to be afflicted, to be bowed down.
All right, so we're adults, right? We're adults. When you lay down with the woman, now this woman is a virgin.
To humble, mishandle, afflict, to humble or humiliate.
Right. Let's say this. So when you lay down with a woman, you humble her, right? There's no in-depth really breakdown, right? For brothers that don't know, right? When you lay down with a woman, you humble that woman. She is submitting to you. You understand? Whatever her pride, she was running, maybe you and your woman got into it. You see baby boy, right? Brother see baby boy, right? Him and his woman, they getting into it. Hey, he humbled her, huh? Can I make you some grits? Now she wanna make you grits. Y'all was arguing, huh? Yeah, I hate you. Right? Right, and that's you humbling her, huh? She went from, running her mouth and stirring up strife. I hate you. And then, next thing you know, she's humble, huh? Right? So that's what it means to humble her, huh? It doesn't mean that she's lonely, you can have this first, I'll just wait my turn. No, it means that you have taken her mindset and you put her into a situation where she knows that you have authority over her. And that's what happens when you lay down with a woman, right? Yeah, we're not going to get that breakdown on that.
No, you just can't go around just doing that.
Yeah, you can't just go around just grabbing them up. And you got to do. You don't have to do that. You don't have to bring it to the car. That's not the only way to get the car. You go to the dealership. You might even set up an appointment. You might even call them to see if they open. You might talk to the dealer and you work out a deal, huh? And you do things the right way. That way, even if you don't like that car, he might allow you to turn that car back in, huh? He might say, look, you know what? Hey, we're going to do you a favor, huh? You can turn that Honda in, you can get this Toyota. But if you go about things the wrong way, all hell is going to break loose, huh?
Right, can we read verse 23? Right, because that's a controversial topic in Israel. Right? Talking about you got to do it. You got to get them, and that's the only way you can get them. No, that's not the only way you can get a wife. It's not the only way you can get a submissive wife, by grabbing them up and hoping that they don't scream. Now, in today's age, right, stuff like that, you go to prison. You go to prison for that. Or you get dealt with by, the family. Right? The family will deal with you, and it's up to them how the Lord allows them to deal with you. Right? But if you do decide to do that, Lord forbid anybody ever thinks about that, and you do that with somebody who's betrothed to somebody, or somebody who's promised to somebody, right? Because those times are coming back around. Right? You got Israelite families doing arranged marriages. And say again?
I said, someone's fiance.
Right, somebody's fiance. If you're in ravished in your lust with that, you're not thinking, is this somebody's wife? Is this somebody's fiance? Is this somebody who's promised to somebody? Things happen from that. Let's read 23.
Come on. Deuteronomy 22 and 23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city, and lie with her, then he shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and he shall stone them with stones, that they die, the damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he had humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among them.
Right, so if it happened, and he just find it, and things do happen, then they both gonna be put to death. Right, keep reading, King.
Come. Then ye shall, verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die, but unto the damsel that shall do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rises against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter.
So no, you don't just say you got to do grape. They call it grape now. The grape doctrine. No, you don't grape them. You get put to death for stuff like that, man. Stop listening to these men who tell you that that's what you got to do. That's how we do it. Do you not know what happened to Judges when Benjamin did that? All hell broke loose, man. It was a damn war. Right there, Benjamin almost been cut off. It wouldn't have been no Benjamites on his life if it wasn't of the Lord's mercy. So stop thinking that just because you hear that from a teacher, that it's okay to hold fast to that doctrine. It says you're going to be put to death. You're going to be put to death. And it's not profitable towards salvation. It's not profitable to teach that to people because it's not concerning salvation. I just had to bring that up, man. That's stuff like that. It makes me mad.
Right.
You know, brothers got daughters, sisters, wives,
Right.
mothers, cousins, and aunts. Man, that stuff. That's an awful doctrine to teach.
That's it. All right, we can move on to the next question.
Next question is from Tribe of Judah. Is it lawful for Israelites to sell unisex clothing?
Is it lawful? Go to Deuteronomy 22 and 25. Right?
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse.
Like a shirt? Right? A shirt? Well, I mean, you know, that's a hoodie. Yeah, brother can sell that. Brother can sell a shirt. He can sell a hoodie. Now, it's technical because you got female shirts too. You know, shirt come right here and big U-neck and brother, don't put the U-neck on. Right? So you got female. Let's read the law. Deuteronomy 22 and 25. I mean, right, 22 and 5.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 5. The woman shall not wear that was pertaining unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
So you got women's clothes, you got men's clothes. Now in the ancient world, a woman had a girdle on, but it was a different kind of girdle than a man might have had a girdle on. Right? A tunic or a robe a woman might have worn, but it was different than what a man might have worn. Right? So there's really no such thing as unisex clothes. You know, you have similar clothing apparel, you know, shirts and t-shirts and, you know, things like that, but one is made for women and one is made for men. You don't sell it and say, man and woman, this is yours. You know? That's what I was saying. Unless it's like a pair of socks and stuff, but they still got female socks and stuff like that. What's that do with that? All right, come on, we move on.
This is from Ezekiel. Why is Machir in Numbers 36 of Manasseh, but in 1 Chronicles, the 2nd chapter, of Judah? Is that the same person?
All right, first, you said First Chronicles.
The first one is Numbers 36, and then the second one is 1 Chronicles, the 2nd chapter.
All right, let's deal with it. So number 36, he's from the tribe of Manasseh, right? Concerning the daughters, and this is with the daughters of Zelophehad. All right, so let's read that.
The book,
Number 36.
the book of Numbers,
And let's the preach like what was in the Chronicles? First Chronicles 2 and 1.
He just said the 2nd chapter.
All right, so let's read that.
the book of Numbers, chapter 36 and verse number 1. And the chief fathers of the families of the children of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of the sons of Joseph, came near and spake before Moses and before the princes, the chief fathers of the household, the children of Israel.
Right, so these are Manassites. Gilead had Manasseh. Or it's like Manasseh had the portion of the land of Gilead. Numbers 36, these are from the tribe of Manasseh. Now, go to 1 Chronicles, the 2nd chapter.
The
Right.
book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 2 and verse.
Now, this chapter goes into the genealogy of the sons of Judah. Right? Now, go to verse number 21.
And verse 21. And after Hezron went in to the daughter of Machir, the father of Gilead, whom he married when he was 80 years old, and she bare Seglah.
Right, and what is this question?
He said, why is Machir in Numbers 36 of Manasseh, but in 1 Chronicles, the 2nd chapter, of Judah? Is that the same person?
Well, he's not of Judah. This doesn't say he's of Judah. It says he's the father of Gilead. Right? We read that Gilead in Numbers 36 was given to the children of Manasseh. This is saying that you had a man that married one of the daughters of the tribe of Manasseh. But it's not saying that this brother, just because you see a man's name mentioned in a genealogy doesn't mean that that man is part of the genealogy. That's why you got to read about Shishak, about an Egyptian. That doesn't make him a Judite. You read about Machir. He's mentioned in his genealogy, but he's not a Judite. He's the father of Gilead, which are the children of Manasseh. So his name is in the chapter, but he's not a Judite, if that makes sense. So read on, King.
And Seglah begat Jair, who had 23 cities in the land of Gilead.
In the land of Gilead. So you had a brother who married a Manassite woman. That's all it's saying. So that's Come, let's play.
Next question. Limb of Israel. Did our forefathers and foremothers physically have weddings to become married?
Yeah, they didn't have weddings to become married, but they had weddings as part of their marriage ceremony. A wedding doesn't make you married. You know, just because that's in this man's society. Right? You go to the state of Mississippi and he says, by the power, what does he say? By the power of the state vested in me. And then he says, who gave him power? He says, by the state of Mississippi, I pronounce you husband and wife. So that's why you know, brothers do get legally married. It's not a sin. But that power to unify your marriage is by the state. So they have authority and they sanction your union. So there are certain ordinances and laws and things that you may be bound by and subject to, depending if you go that route. That's not a sin, but that's a wedding in this man's world. In the ancient world, the union was vested by Yahweh Shah, by the fathers that would come together. The brothers can have Go to Tobit chapter 8 and verse number 6.
Tobit chapter 8 and verse number 6. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve, his wife for help. Instead of them came mankind. Thou hast said, it is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself. Right? And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister.
I take not this my sister. Right? So he's saying that he's about to lay down with her. I'm not taking her for lust. Right? This is him in the spirit, right? Acknowledging his foremothers, his forefathers, right? Understanding the vow he's about to enter into with his wife and laying down with her and what that actually means. Right, read on.
I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly, therefore, mercifully, ordained that we may become aids together.
Right?
And she said with him, Amen.
Right, so they entered into an understanding and an agreement together. Right, they entered into that vow of, we're about to get married, we're about to lay down, right, I'm not taking you for lust. They're entering into what the world will call vows, right, as you like walk down the aisle and the pastor says, okay, well, do you have anything to say? Right, and then the man will say exactly what Tobiah said. Like, I'm not taking you for lust, but uprightly, I love you, X, Y, Z. Right, she said, amen, meaning I agree, so be it. Right, read on.
Come. So they slept both that night.
They slept both that night, meaning they laid down. Now jump to verse number 19.
Come, verse number 19. And he kept the wedding feast 14 days.
But this was after. So it's not saying that it was a wedding and then after that. See, America got you jammed up to think that you have to get all of your cousins involved, right? All of your father's side of the family, your mother's side of the family. You got to sign seats. You have to have a pastor. But it's not biblical. Right? They laid down, and after, it says in verse 19, you can read it again.
And he kept the wedding feast 14 days. For before the days of the marriage were finished, Raguel had said unto him by an oath that he should not depart till the 14 days of the marriage were expired.
So they already had this thing established before the wedding feast. So they already had the father involved. They already made the oath. Right? Tobias was already in order. Right? So was his wife. So all this was already established before the feast, right? In the wedding, right? How the world would make it up to be.
Counselor, I got a few quick precepts. Can we go to the book real fast at John chapter 2 and verse 1? Bible chapter.
John chapter 2 and verse number 1. And the third day there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Yahushua was there.
I read.
And both Yahushua was called and his disciples to the marriage.
Right, so you had so-called marriages in the ancient world, right? But these were more so on a technical sense as a thing of a formality, right, or a thing as a public display, right? But it doesn't necessarily have effect, right, on what the Lord had already established. Right, let's get that in Tobit 7 and 13.
Right, the book of Tobit, chapter 7 and verse 13.
Right?
Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be the wife of Tobias, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Moses.
Right, take her after the law of Moses. Right, just as Brother went into, right, Deuteronomy 22 and 29, right, if you may find a woman or a daughter that's unbetrothed, you may speak to her, spit game, or, you may take a hold on her, with your words, right? As they say, you may captivate a woman, by your speech, and also in Exodus 22 and 16, all right? So take her after the law of Moses, right? Meaning, right, once you take that woman and you lay down with her, right, that's when that woman becomes your wife. They even tell you that in the so-called world, that your marriage isn't official or consummate or complete until you lay down right with that woman. Even if you do have a so-called ceremony, you walk down the aisle because you can get what's called a so-called annulment, right? If you don't lay down with that woman, right? Meaning that the marriage never happened, right? So even Esau knows that, right? We don't.
Somebody. The law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father and be blessed them.
Right,
and he blessed them and called Edna his wife and took paper and then write an instrument of covenants and sealed it. Then they began to eat.
Right, and so after taking that daughter, that woman, right after the law of Moses, right, you also can write that instrument of covenant, right, which is on paper, right, the vows that you made between you and your woman, in the eyes of the Most High, right. There's no account of Edna, right, going to a so-called Esau system or any system, right. You gotta go through the court file and bring your so-called social security number, right. Bring your so-called birth certificate, etc. Right? No, right. This was a contract right between husband and wife, right. And so I'm gonna get one last precept, right? The book of Genesis, and I want to start at 2 and verse 24.
Right, the book of Genesis, chapter 2, and verse number 24.
Right, so I start at 23.
Verse 23. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman because she was taken out of me.
Right, read.
Man, so like she was taken out of me. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
Right. Once that man and that woman lay down or come together, they become one flesh. Right, read on.
And they were both naked, and they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
Right, man and his wife. Right, that word in the Hebrew wife, right, goes back to Isha, right, which means his woman. Right, so once that man lays down with a woman, right, you become that man's slave, that man's woman. Right, so you got it.
You want to take maybe two more, maybe one, maybe two more.
It's from HBKN. What's the best way to prepare for a life of pilgrimage?
All right, well, let's go to the book of Proverbs. Right? Chapter, I believe that's 21. Right? Let me get that real quick. Let's go to Proverbs 21 and verse number, bear with me. Make sure this is the exact precept that I want. 21 and 31. All right, brothers, you know this precept.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse number 31. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of the Lord.
Right, but safety is of the Lord. Right? So you have to understand as a pilgrim on earth that no matter how much you plan and prepare, right? No matter how many weapons that you may acquire and accumulate, how much rubbing alcohol you buy, generators, batteries, there's nothing wrong with making sure you have stuff, right? There's no sin in it. You're not going to be destroyed because you had an extra case of water. But if you put your trust in that and make it your God, now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. Safety is in Yahweh Bashim Shah. Right? And you have to have the mind to know the prophecy. The Lord said they shall waste and cast out their goods, man. So the goods that you have spent, your Campbell's chicken noodle soup, your MREs, your powdered this, and your silicone that, all of that stuff is going to be taken away from us, man. Right? Get that in 2 Ezra 16 real quick, Bible Shah, verse 70.
2 verse 16 and verse number 7. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
Right, men that are of this government and these elites, they're going to rise up against the kingdom of heaven. That's what the insurrection is. That's the ultimate sedition coming. Read.
They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but spoiling,
Meaning robbing
and destroying,
and killing.
those that fear the Lord.
Read.
For they shall waste and take away their
They're
goods,
going to destroy your property, your goods, and take them away. Read.
and cast them out of their houses.
Help you pay your rent.
Cast them out of their houses.
You'll be cast out of your house. Then what?
Then shall they be known who are my chosen.
Right, so that's when you really want to be tried, man. Because a lot of brothers, man, you want to be comfortable, man. You heaped up so many MREs, got all these double eggs, got all this water that you bought, all this Gatorade you have, batteries, flashlights, double D batteries, triple A batteries. Brothers, they got an underground railroad. So we're going to link up at this underground railroad. You have brothers that bought their land. This land is going to deliver us. Esau doesn't know about this land. Right? And they trust in that. Hideouts and jungles and first plane, brothers are learning to get their aviation license. So they can land that plane, and when James Trouble comes, they come in with that plane, people throw their bags on like a Queen and Slim. And they try to fly to damn Puerto Rico, man. So, yeah, your goods and your resource that you have, yeah, they sustain you, that's fine. But you can't trust in it. There's really no sure way to prepare to be a pilgrim on the earth except building up your faith in Yahweh Bashim Shah. The Lord said, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times. That's what's going to keep you stable, how much you believe in the Most High. Because you may not have food for a day. You may not have the 3-course meal, but you have to believe and trust in the Most High that He's going to provide for you. That He's going to give you water. He's going to give you clothes. You can't trust in your GPS. You can't trust in the so-called white man. Alexa can't help you. TikTok can't save you. We can't save you. I did a code. I said, if a brother's in watching for Israel, and the brother calls us in Jacob's trouble and says, deliver me, you suspend it. You're suspended, man. We're going to find you and bring you to counsel. If you call us, and we find out that you think that we can save you, you're going to get brought to counsel, man. You will get brought to counsel. We will find you in Jacob's trouble and suspend you, man. Don't think that man can save you, man. Call upon Yahweh Bashim Shah, man. Right? Matthew chapter 10 and verse number 19. Matthew chapter 10 and verse 19.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 10, in verse number 19. But when they deliver you up, take no thought.
What the Lord says?
Take no thought.
Right, don't take the thought. See, a lot of brothers write down and break down, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? Should I go east? Should I go west? You can't prepare yourself for something you've never seen. Something you don't know what's going to come to pass. All you know is what's written. You know the vengeance. You know the wars. The pestilence. The famines. The destruction. You know the bombs are going to drop. These are the things the Lord has showed you. And there are things which He has not showed you. That's why faith is so important. Right, read on?
Take no thought how or what you shall speak, for it shall be given you.
It shall be given you
In that same hour, what you shall speak.
See, and a lot of times, Jake doesn't have time to prepare because the Lord doesn't want you to prepare. He wants you in that exact moment to have faith in Him, right? Like brothers always say, if brothers knew the exact moment and time the Lord was coming, they would prepare themselves. That's why you should already be prepared, stocking up on faith, or having the Spirit of the Lord and trusting in the Lord. See, Stephen, when he was grabbed up, right, he didn't know that 3 weeks ahead of time. He didn't prepare himself going 7 fasts, getting ready to be stoned. See, that happened at that exact moment. He couldn't prepare. So in that exact moment, he trusted in the Lord, had faith, right? And looked up to the third heaven, and the Lord revealed things to him. He guided him. Go to Jeremiah chapter 33 and 3 real fast. Jeremiah chapter 33 and verse number 3.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 33, and verse number 3. And call unto me, and I will answer thee.
Right, that's not talking about just when your rent is late, right, or you lose your job. Now, this is when you really need the Lord, huh? And the Lord said, call upon me, and I will answer you. Read.
And shew thee great and mighty things, which thou knowest not.
Right, what thou knowest not. What don't you know? How you going to get fed? Where your water is going to come from? What direction you going to go? And the Lord can visit you in dreams. He can direct your spirit. Now, how many times have you got off the highway and missed the exit? How many times has, the Most High just moved your spirit to go places and do things that you didn't know that you were going to do that day? You had plans to do this, but the Lord suffered you and pushed you to do that. Right, real quick, I got another precept in Acts, chapter 16. I believe it's 16. Acts chapter 16, bear with me. In verse number 6.
The book of Acts, chapter 16, and verse number 6. Now, when they had gone through Phrygia and the region, Galatia,
Right, meaning the apostles were traveling, right?
and were forbidden of the Holy Ghost to preach the word in Asia, after they were come to Mysia, they essayed to go into Bithynia.
Right, they wanted to go to Bithynia,
But the Spirit suffered them not.
right, the Spirit suffered them not. Meaning the Spirit took control and suffered them not to go beyond where they wanted to go. So you may just think in your mind, a Spirit may just come to you, go west, go east, or go south. You don't know what Spirit that's in you. But the Lord is going to lead you. So you may be suffered to go somewhere, but the Spirit have you directed to go a whole other way. And the Spirit may have you giving away bread to your brother, right? In your mind, I really need this, man. But the Spirit may suffer you to feed, to help, to bury. May not to bury, to keep it moving. To duck, to hide. That's why you trusting in the Lord, He's going to move your spirit. One last precept in 1 Kings chapter 18. 1 Kings chapter 18 and verse number 12.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, and verse number 12. And it shall come to pass, as soon as I am gone from thee,
Right, as soon as I am leaving from talking to you,
that the Spirit of the Lord shall carry thee whither I know not.
right, that the Spirit of the Lord shall carry me whither I know not. See, like the Lord said, the wind bloweth as it listens. So is every man in the Spirit, paraphrasing. So you don't know where you're going to go and what you're going to do. All you can do is think of these things that you're going to do. Right, you can read that again, King?
And it shall come to pass, as soon as I am gone from thee, that the Spirit of the Lord shall carry me whither I know not. And so when I come into Ahab, and he cannot find me, he shall slay me. But I thy servant fear the Lord from my youth.
Right, because Elijah was on the run. He didn't know which way and direction he was going to go because the Spirit was going to move him, and he knew that through the Spirit. He didn't trust in himself but trust in man. He trusted in the Most High. So I would just say continuously be strong in your thoughts to trust in the Most High to confirm your ways.
Two quick precepts, and that goes back to that second Ezra 16. It was at 71 on down. Because the Lord is a guide to them that trust in Him, right? Not your sins lift up themselves. Because if your sins lift up yourselves, you start to doubt in the Lord. Doubt if the Lord is really dealing with you. Doubt if the Lord is going to deliver you. Right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 61 and start at verse number 9.
Isaiah chapter 61 and verse number 9. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. And all that see them shall acknowledge them, they that are the seed which the Lord has blessed.
Right, so everybody's going to know that the Lord is blessing you because He's going to deliver you out of the troubles. That's going to be a faith move. Right, you can't really chapter 15 and verse number 2, where it talks about letting these things trouble you and the incredulity is taking over you. You're gonna be faithless in those days. If you start to ponder and think, how can I make myself a pilgrim? How can I hide myself from the evils that are coming? Because the Lord said he put a sword out, he's not gonna take it back. His right hand is not gonna spare you. It's already known that all hell is gonna break loose. Right, keep reading, King.
I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my God. For he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation.
So the Lord has clothed his elect with the garments of salvation. That's why the works that you're doing now is important. That's why storing up that spiritual treasure is important now. So the Lord will protect you with that garment of salvation.
He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels.
Right? So we're preparing for the marriage. So the Lord is going to prepare us to receive salvation for those who trust in him. Because didn't the Lord say, my servant shall eat, but thou shalt hunger? Right? Give me that, what's that? Isaiah 65, verse number 13.
Isaiah chapter 65 and verse number 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed.
So the servants of the Lord are going to be rejoicing. They're going to be turning up. They're going to receive the blessings from the Lord. Right? Imagine being so thirsty that you can't even speak, you can't even breathe. And out of nowhere, you turn around, Esau stored all this stuff up for the day of visitation. You got a whole bottle, and a whole basement full of Deer Park, ice cold. Some reason the freezer never went out from the power grid. And it's dripping with the water on the outside. And you open it up, and water don't make that soda. And when you open it up, it does that. And then you just refill, man. So the servants of the Lord are going to be not begging for water, not begging for food, because the Lord is going to provide it for them. That's how you prepare to be a pilgrim. By doing the works that the Lord told you to do now. By trusting in the Lord now. By showing that you trust in the Lord by doing what he commanded you to do.
Quick precepts, 2 Kings 6 and 25.
Right, the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, and verse number 45. 25, so like it. And it reads, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, until an ass head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the forepart of a cob of doves dung for 5 pieces of silver.
Right, come. And so, as the Lord said, right, it's going to be famines in the land, right? Famines, right? People breaking into damn storehouses, right? Right? People damn robbing stores, looting, right? Trucks being robbed and looted, right? Streets are blocked off, so there's no access, right? Right, so food and resources and things of that sort of nature are going to be extremely scarce. Right, read on.
Verse number 26. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help my lord, O king.
Right, and you may have men that may, and women, they may be beseeching and screaming and crying and begging for help, right? Begging for water, begging for shelter, begging for food, etc. Read on.
And he said, if the Lord do not help thee,
right, if the Lord do not help thee, read on.
what shall I help thee?
Right, meaning, how the hell can man help you, man? Right, when the Most High, he's the one that was bringing the plagues, the Most High, he's the one that was bringing the terrors and bringing the destruction by touching the earth. Right, so if the Most High is not going to help you or be with you, or if you do not have any trust in him, man, right, then how can any man help you, man? Right, as the Lord said in the book of Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, right, 22 on down, right, a woe unto him that make a flesh his arm, right, meaning you put your strength, right, in your mind and resources into man, instead of putting your mind and strength into the Most High, right, that he be the one to deliver you and save you in those days.
So with that,